Hey everyone, welcome aboard. It is the fan reaction show. League Cup, Norwich 0, Liverpool 3, and we have to get that clarification in because there's a very familiar ring about a lot of Liverpool's results this season. But yeah, Carrow Road, 3-0 to Liverpool, and this time we are through to the next round of the League Cup. And a great all-round performance from the Reds. There's some debutants putting in a great shift, particularly on that right-hand side. Conor Bradley, despite conceding the penalty, actually recovering really well and putting a great shift up and down that flank. Kate Gordon showing some flashes of brilliance for a 16-year-old. Very impressive indeed. And of course, the lads who maybe, I suppose, the ones with the biggest question marks over them when you talk about Liverpool's depth, and the attacking depth has been such a heavy focus this summer of have Liverpool got enough? Well, so far, so good in terms of the return from Divock Origi and from Takumi Minamino, both on the score sheet tonight, in addition to, of course, Divock being involved in midweek against AC Milan as well. Very good stuff indeed. It is the show where you get your reaction to the games. If you're a YouTube member, you get access to the live chat. If you want to send us a tweet to @the Redmen TV, you can do, of course, as well. But yeah, if you want to comment directly to me in the live chat, just write Mate first, so I know you're talking to me, but please feel free to have a chat amongst yourselves in there as well. Welcome aboard to LFCJ, who's joined as a first teamer, and Jack Renton has done the same as well. Get your comments in now, guys, and we'll get through them. Brian Glow with the first one, though, saying Taki and Origi were clinical today. I thought the youngsters fit into the system very easily. Can't forget the big save by Kelleher at the end of the first half. Yeah, Kelleher was really, really solid. Now, I think you could contend that Norwich, they were a bit wasteful in front of goal, which is a key component of us getting the win there today. There's two chances in particular where you're getting a shot off inside the 18-yard box and it's weak and it's straight down his throat, but that's not Kelleher's fault. He's just dealt with that. The things that were most bright for me about Kelleher, he says a penalty thing, but also there's two chances in that first half where they played the ball over the top and he raced off his goal, raced off the edge of his 18-yard box, but didn't do it in like a crazy reckless way. And I've seen Carriers do a bit of that, like David James used to do a lot of that. God, I knows I do. You know you've got to come out, so you come racing out and there's no measure of control there, you're just recklessly charging. There's a real composure to Kelleher when he does it. It's very Alisson-like. He always talks about like when he was in one-on-ones and he waits for them to take a touch and then he pounces. And it had a bit of that to it where he picked his moment, he arrived at the right time, and some very cultured headers to kind of keep Liverpool in possession of the football as well. So yeah, I agree. Really, really solid performance from Stephen Kelleher, and the clean sheet will be great for him as well. So yeah, very pleased indeed. Ashley Frith, just really happy with the result and performance. Thought Gomez and Konate were amazing. Brilliant to finally have cover for Robbo with Shimikas. Shout out for Morton, thought he was class. A lot of Tyler Morton love in the comments. I think we always have this like a recency bias thing where players who perform in the second half shine more brightly than good performances in the first. But I'll read through some more Tyler Morton comments because there are no shortage of them tonight. Gomez and Konate, I agree. Joe Gomez, really just outstanding composure at the back. There's one moment where he's basically almost defending against two Norwich players when the line breaks down and he doesn't throw his body in. And Gomez, I think a year or two ago, particularly when he's playing the right-sided supporting defender alongside Van Dijk, I think he goes to ground there, and I think it opens up a pathway to a free shot on goal for Norwich. But he doesn't. He fakes. He body checks. He causes the havoc in the mind of the Norwich attackers, and the chance ends up breaking down because of that. And of course, look at the way that he behaved around the penalty. He's first on the scene, getting in the way a couple of times and getting the ball cleared as well. Brilliant for Gomez and Konate. I spoke about Konate post-match at the weekend, and I thought he was fine. I thought it was a solid debut, but that it wasn't much more than that. What I think he lacked was he just looked like a lad trying to have a solid debut. Today, he looked like a Liverpool centre-half. So he was confident on the ball, he was striding forward, he was being a bit more brave in possession in terms of how he was using the ball. So yeah, I really enjoyed that partnership. Very promising early signs for those two, certainly. Damien Lobb could comment this. Usually games like this, we play a team full of kids and moan they won't get the right experience if we don't play them with first teamers. Tonight, a few of them have done very well. That's often a big struggle when you put a mismatched team out. And Liverpool have done this in the League Cup for years. I've often said I'd rather us just put the reserves out. So I think back to 2004, 2005, obviously is remembered for being the European Cup winning season, but we get to the League Cup final by basically playing the second stringers. We'd be Tottenham. It's like the Cinema Pongal team, effectively. David Raven's in there and all that kind of stuff. And then when we got to the final, we played the strongest team and got beat. And it was. I mean, look, Chelsea would have wiped the floor probably with that kids, to be fair. But I like that, and because often when you play a mismatch team of fringe players, a couple of senior lads who know they're just in there to just be the old heads and maybe don't normally put a shift in, and then a bunch of kids who haven't really got the experience at that level, you see embarrassments. There was none of that tonight. I think it shows just how good the understanding is up and down the pyramid for Liverpool, but also just how much quality we've got in our young players there. Some of them really shone tonight. Rob Davies says, Oxford's poor again, lost the ball far too often. Yeah, he was the one. For me, I think there was a lot on, and I was keen to sort of say about Taki that we shouldn't put too much pressure on because of that disjointed thing. I want to see Taki playing in a team like Divock against AC. Drop Taki in when he's got two from Jota, Firmino, Mane and Salah in the front three with him. And then judge him in those performances, because we keep trying to judge him in games where he's playing with our second stringers effectively. But again, he took us 2 goals really well there today. And Ox, there was no lack of effort from Oxlade-Chamberlain tonight. I think he just there was that missing thing. And whether it's a psychological thing or just a bit of luck or whatever, but he wasn't on it tonight. Now he'll get an assist for the Takumi Minamino thing, and you can see he was made up with that, so that will reflect in his his season stats. That will help him definitely, because he was buzzing with that, and sometimes that's what you need. It doesn't matter whether we go that was a dynamite piece of play or whatever. If he can use that as a positive thing, then great, because we're going to need Ox. But I think of the lads, him, Divock and Taki were the lads who I think we needed to see. There are depth, and this was a game where we were hoping we were going to see more from them. And I think Ox, of those 3, was the one who shone least brightly. So yeah, I get that. Right, we've got some great comments here, by the way. Rob Davies again saying Morton looked class when he came on. Liam Bergen, mate, Taki was unreal tonight. Seeing him drop deeper in the second half makes me speculate Klopp could be prepping him to fill Harvey's attacking midfield role. Good win, nevertheless. I have thought about that. Now, obviously, we saw him a bit last season that didn't really fit for him, but I mean, had a bit more. Everton are out. Poor old Diev. And Toffee TV, bless him. The revolution continues unabated. Who knows? The Taki thing, he's clearly very versatile. He's a good footballer. I just like his poaching instincts. I like him in the box. I think he's got a good composed finish on him. So I don't really know, but I think it was too soon for me to judge the midfield thing. But because Elliott came in and hit the ground running, it makes you wonder whether there's levels to it. I really don't know, but I think he showed. I think we showed a lot of versatility from Liverpool. I have no idea what formation we played second half. It was fascinating, but yeah, good. Iggy Eagle, good this. Origi is exactly who we need as a squad player. People really underrate him. I think, we've already got more out of Divock Origi this season than we got out of him last season in 2 games. Almost, he won't be far off the total minutes. I think he played about 500 minutes for us last season as well, in all comps, and now he's got 150 or something. So he's well on his way. The depth of Liverpool's and the quality of the depth of Liverpool's squad is a bar measured by Divock Origi and Takumi Minamino, and today they've come in and done the job that you were requiring of them. When you look at, just on the flip side of it, Man City putting out all their big guns in attack and them all performing, but that's what Liverpool have gone for that tier below, to give them game time to rotate the squads. It's still a step up to be in that main team. But you can't really ask more from what they've done there, so very good indeed. Official Nemesis here saying very composed 45 from Morton. From a largely disjointed midfield performance, he came on and just did what he needed to. I'm going to come back to the members chat in a moment. I'm just going to flick over to Twitter, because I said, it's an opportunity. If you don't want to be a YouTube member, you can get your comments in, then you can do. Just want to draw attention, by the way, we've got a job advert up at the moment. We're hiring for a part-time videographer, so if you are based in and around the Liverpool area, and you've got camera and editing skills, and you want a part-time job that isn't as a barista, which seems to be what all the part-time jobs are for young people these days. If you want to get involved with us, then you can do. We've got a 2 to 3 day part-time job. Look, the people who are probably possess some worldy skills, it's not necessarily for people who are, who are mega professionals here, but if you're looking for a first job in the industry, then yeah, get in touch. The job advert is up on the redmentv.com, or it'll be pinned, I think, on our Twitter. So do check that out on the redmentv.com there if you want more info. Get involved. But yes, anyway, tweets. First one comes from Jonathan McMahon. Ox much better in the second half. Morton looks like a good player. Flashes from Gordon. Will be fun to watch if he puts it all together. Yeah, I agree on that. The Kate Gordon stuff. He looked very good for a 16-year-old, but it's obviously worth remembering that he's 16. He's just a little bit lightweight. But in terms of his game intelligence, some of the through balls he was playing, the positions he was taking up, the bravery in possession, very bright indeed. LFC Drew, Lowell Andrew, here on Twitter saying Tyler Morton might be a tailor-made replacement for Fab at this rate. Wow. Kay Gordon has got some serious talent. Kanate and Gomez, a great partnership. Jones reminding everyone of his class. Shimikas really putting a strong effort in for Robbo's spot. Won't get it yet, but pressure on. I really like that last comment. We've got two really good left-backs. Really good left-backs there. That's outstanding. And you want to get to a position where you've got good back for the lads who've been playing so much football. We need to start safeguarding them. We need to safeguard our best players. And now we've got a position where Robbo can play. Robbo can get the occasional game off, and we're not sacrificing anything. There's so much of a gap. Milner did a great job at the weekend, but really Milner, Nico Williams, Connor Bradley are all sound in their own different ways and to different levels. Trent's the best right back in the world, and so there's a massive gap. But on the left hand side, Robbo's been phenomenal. But all of a sudden, you've got a lad who, particularly delivery from Shimikas, that cross for Divock Origi is chef's kiss. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Mark Ferg. Tyler Morton coming on at half-time changed the game for us. Before half-time, we were giving the ball away too easily at times, but he came on. I don't think he misplaced the pass. Looked really assured with the ball. Looks a decent player. Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, but I also think, again, just tactically, you had three attacking mids. And I actually don't know enough more to say whether he's a natural DM. I think, Leighton Clarkson is very much a DM. But whether he is or not, he's a young lad who's just going to come in and do what he's told. And it's, whether his natural game it will be curbed by just wanting to be on the pitch for Liverpool. And I think they just said, go and sit alongside, go and sit deep. Don't have progressive instincts. Don't leave our half, and just give us a bit more platform. And Liverpool went a bit more 4-2-4 in the second half. Let the attacking lads run a bit free and just have another extra body. Some of the passing was very neat and tidy. Yeah, it was impressive from Tyler Morton. Daniel Gore. I won't get carried away around our strength in depth in the front three, but you can't ask much more than 1 goal and 2 assists for Divock in 2 starts, and 2 goals from 1 start from Taki, from what are essentially your 5th and 6th choice attackers. Optimus Prime there, just dropping fact bombs. Brilliant. Yeah, spot on. Daniel's got that absolutely spot on there. And to my point from earlier, exactly that. What more can you ask? Salah's just had a night off. Mane's had a night off. Firmino's been given another few days to get fit. Jota's had the night off. And the lads that we've brought in have all, Kate Gordon could have had a goal. Good chance when he puts over the bar. Central great movement from him. Divock with a wonderful centre forwards head. Then Takumi Minamino buzzing round and poaching and nicking goals. Great. Absolutely great. Now, there'll be a question of, can they do it in the biggest games? Hopefully we won't have to find out. And maybe, and ideally in isolation, you want to be able to drop one of them in. I don't think we'll likely see this as a front three for a big game of football. Even with the African Cup of Nations, the idea is that Bobby Firmino and Jota will be available for those games for us as well. But you want to get to a situation where these lads can drop in and do a job. And yeah, I think that bodes very well for the future indeed. And then last one from Twitter, LFC77. Anyone who uses Back to the Future gifts is fine by me. Liverpool 3, Norwich. There's something very familiar about all of this. That was Biff Tannen, by the way. I think I absolutely nailed it. Right. Let's get back to the members chat before we wrap up here. Actually, we've got a super chat here from Adam Hart. We're going to have a party when QPR win the cup. Yeah, no. Well, let's just have one when we win it, eh? Swaz Lynch Gordon is better than Messi. Sure. Yeah, why not? Lewis Hamburg. Hey, Louis. Good to see you, mate. Great game, great comments just now about our depth. Need to continue this form for Origi/Minamino. Absolutely. And what I hope is that they've done enough there that we're now not waiting. I don't even know when the next round of the League Cup is. It won't be too far away, I'd guess. But I'd like to see Minamino get the chance off the bench. Get half an hour in a Premier League game now for us in rotation. Get him involved in there. Get him on the pitch for a Champions League game. And the same goes with Divock. I hope they're of a sufficient level that they can do that so that we're getting a higher level from the four other lads when we need to use them in games. That would be the absolute ideal for us. Trig Josh, mate, if we win both the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, Henderson and a few others will have a full complement of available cup winners' medals. Wouldn't that be lovely? I'm all for it. Like, Man City go and clean up on all the domestic trophies. Great. Why not? I think there's a really good point here where Norwich were heavily rotated here. So, and they're in a bit of trouble. And Liverpool, obviously, Liverpool's squad players are better than a lot of Norwich's best players because that's how good Liverpool are. Liverpool are in that bracket of the top 5 clubs teams on the planet right now, whether we remember that or not. It's true. So yeah, I'd like to see us. I'm happy for us to have a cup run, but it would need to come with heavy rotation. And there comes a point where you'll meet someone in the quarters or the semis who are really good and take it really seriously, and that's normally where we come a cropper in this cup, or when we send all our players off to another competition and then come a cropper. But that obviously won't happen this time around. John O'Connor loving the Costas love. Matthias Hansen loved the performance of Minamino. Would love to see him get more game time in the league. Yep, same. Yeah, you'll never walk alone. Up the Reds. And Damien Lobb said, I thought Gordon played as well as Harvey Elliott did when he first joined. That's a great point. That is a very good point indeed. Harvey made his debut against MK Dons and looked a real bright spark in that game too. We can't judge. It's too soon to be judging Kate Gordon. We don't need that pressure. The beauty is we don't need to put him under that pressure. That's the wonder of how Liverpool are managed. It doesn't need to be all or nothing right now. We get to see some nice little positive, and he's one that I'm happy for him to just go back to. He's above his age. He's miles above his age bracket in the under-23s. Under-23s football is a very good stage for him to be at, and then dropping in and training with the senior players will do him the world of good right now. So yeah, good first steps into the professional game for Kate Gordon there, and I hope we do see more of him. But we've got the time now. The spotlight. What I didn't want is that all the spotlight's on Kate Gordon and then he outperforms Origi and Minamino. Well, that hasn't happened tonight. Kate Gordon's looked really good and he's a promising young kid. Great. That's exactly what he should be. But our senior fringe players have really stepped up tonight, and that's the most important thing because they're the lads who we're going to need this season because they're senior players. They should be able to contribute in a big way for us when called upon. Moet has joined as a wonder kid. Thank you so much. If you want to get a comment in, get it in quickly because we're going to roll this up now. Vibav Kalapathy. Minamino to start for Brentford. I'd like to see that. Probably not. But that what they've done is now. Divock hasn't even been on the bench barely this season. Both of those will have put themselves in contention for the bench space. And if Firmino's not back, then we've had a couple of games where we haven't had a recognised forward on the bench. Both of them are in reasonable contention for the bench. And if you're on the bench, you've got a chance of making it onto the pitch toward the end of a football match. So, yeah, I think that's the next step for Taki because we don't know where he's at because he's had that injury. I hope he is. I really hope he is, and I hope we see more from these lads because as much as we're like, let's go and buy someone, the ideal world is not to have to buy someone. Let's hope we've already got the solution. Let's hope we can just get more out of what we've got for two reasons. Because if they're good enough, great. We don't need to buy someone. Or at the worst case scenario, what you're looking for is that they add value and then we sell them and then we've got more money to buy another brilliant player instead. That's the win for Liverpool. Fingers crossed. Conor Loughlin's joined us a wonder kid as well. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining me for this show. It's been an absolute pleasure. You guys are all wonderful. Thank you to all our new members. We do these fan reaction shows after every game. So if you remember, you get access to this live chat for the rest of the season. So that's really good stuff. But as I always say, if you want to support what we do, the best way to do that, instead of being a YouTube member or being a Patreon, we've got the redmentv.com, which is our own subscription service, which not just means you don't just give us money. we give you loads of extra shows in return. We've got a new series of the In Conversation with starting up. We recorded the first one today with Liverpool stand-up comedian, rising star of the podcasting world as well, Adam Rowe. We've got it, hopefully, I don't want to unveil it just yet, but we've got a very special guest lined up for this week for the season 3 of that. So yeah, that's going to be exclusively streaming on the redmentv.com. So keep your eyes peeled on our socials for all that sort of stuff. But anyway, yes, Chris is going to follow me with the player rating. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, then I'll be back after that with the instant match reaction. So stay tuned. Other than that, have a great night's sleep if you want to get to bed, and check back for the final word show. Again, streaming exclusively on the redmentv.com tomorrow. Ta-ra.